Hey there, all you filthy heathens. This is Kirk coming back to you again. It's been a really weird couple of weeks for me. I've been traveling all day today. It's Thursday. March was it 13th, 14th, something like that. I don't know. It's been that kind of day. I have no idea what day it is today. But yeah, I've been traveling all day. Um, I'm in West Virginia, unfortunately, for a funeral. So and I haven't really been able to take in the countryside because I got here at like 9 o'clock at night, so it's dark the whole drive back. Um, but yeah, so out here traveling again. I had a close friend of mine. Her mom passed, so I'm gonna be on the funeral tomorrow, and you know, grieving the loved ones that you lose. It's always an important part. Don't skip out on that if you lose somebody. But the big things going on lately, for me anyway, is uh, my school district that I live in California, Elk Grove Unified, has made a lot of news lately, and uh, I was one of the people that got quoted. There's a Twitter account called End Wokeness. They put my video, they put my public comments up on the X Twitter, and that got a lot of retweets and stuff like that, whatever you call it now, and uh, made local news, all that stuff, and so it's been kind of a weird week because I've had people sending me video clips, say, hey, this person posted this, and it's got a lot of stuff. Like Ben Shapiro reposted a video I was in, so that I had people sending me that. So that was cool. But what I'm mostly going to go over is I'm just going to tell you, you can go on my channel and you can see that I did post my public comments to the school board. It was pretty intense. I was pretty upset. I was rather upset, we'll say. And I was just not very happy. And every time I try to write out my comments, it never lent itself to being uh, calm and rational and things like that. Especially with this school board. The school board has a just. I've been going to these school board meetings for less than a year, and it just feels like every other month they've got some sort of let's talk about sex with the kids thing going on, and then this was just kind of the final straw. I'll show you a little bit later, because I talked to the my city council, and I've said recently or previously that obviously the city council doesn't have any sway over the school board, but this is happening in their city, so I made sure to let them know. But for those of you who did not see the video of my public comments, you can watch it here. Hi. A few months ago, I came here to call out this board for abandoning principles of transparency and being biased in favor of a certain political agenda rather than serving the educational interests of students and their families. Well, I'm back here again today to do the same thing. Again, this board has helped to create a district culture which both encourages child sexualization and hides it from parents. Now, it's bad enough that you've done this to post-pubescent teenagers with porn in the libraries and public drag shows. But now we know there are secret rainbow clubs in at least one elementary school, possibly up to 10 of these elementary schools. On top of that, when a school principal was called out on this, less than a month later, there was magically a teacher training put on by the Youth Development Office to help teachers and staff respond to parents who may have a problem, just a small problem, with a stranger having secret sexual conversations with their 8-year-old. Now, I had some questions. I sent those to my son's principal and to the superintendent, and I did hear back, but those answers only created more questions. But I have a couple of different questions for the board. Number one, what the hell? And number two, what the hell? And I'm censoring myself, so
Now, I would have liked to have come here with serious, non-rhetorical questions about this issue, which in a normal world would have been an isolated incident of an overzealous school staff member. But at this point, I know any questions I would ask would fall on deaf ears. It's a clear trend now. This board has created a district culture where child sexualization isn't the exception, it's the rule. It's not just in high school anymore, it's in grade school. If this school board had existed in 2005, you'd all be the villains in an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, so as you can see, I was pretty mad. It was this is elementary schools now. It's not, and this isn't like an isolated incident, and this isn't just, oh, we're doing pride declarations and things like that. It's not just that. This is a trend of of creepiness that I'm really getting fed up with from the school board. So what I'll do is I'll put in the link below. It wasn't just me. It was probably, I want to say probably like 10 to 20, somewhere between 10 and 20 parents who spoke about this. You know, my kid doesn't go to the elementary school in question, but I'm it's only a matter of time. If they're doing something secret like this at one elementary school, and I think it just so happened to be just a really overzealous teacher. You get one overzealous teacher, and this is going to, at any school, and it's going to happen. So it needed to be called out and kind of forcefully. So that was that. But again, it's not enough just to go to the school board meetings and let people know. I made sure to let the city council know, and you know, obviously they're not going to do anything, and they didn't say they were going to do anything. I don't expect them to do anything. But again, it's a different audience of people who need to know what's going on, and I'm making sure that people know that, hey, these things aren't just a small thing. This isn't just, oh, you have this book in the library that's kind of objectionable. Well, my high school library had Mein Kampf and the Communist Manifesto in it. So, I mean, yeah, those are kind of objectionable books. You know, there are, I think, there were books in my public library that had shootouts in it, where it graphically says what happens to people who are shot. I mean, so I get, you know, there's going to be books that have objectionable material, but just the let's make sure we get these in there. Let's make sure we do this, and let's try to get them into, you know, younger and younger ages. Let's make sure we try to get this. There's these librarians that come to the school board meetings and talk about, oh yeah, these should be in the elementary schools. And it's like, well, yeah, because you have like 12-year-olds, 12, 13-year-olds there. And, you know, we need to make sure that they have access to these, because these people, you know, might need it at that age. It's like, well, then they can wait a year, and they don't want to make them wait a year. So it's really creepy. And so like I said, went to the city council. I wanted to make sure they knew what was going on and let them know that, you know, I'm not going to go away on this issue, and I'm going to keep telling them, like, hey, you endorse a lot of these people for school board. You're friends with these people. And, you know, I'm not really going to be happy until somebody caves and just says, we're not doing this anymore. But we've taken this too far. Until they realize that they are going down a path that is not okay, it's not going to stop. So here's my comments to the to this Elk Grove City Council. I couldn't control myself. I did cuss in this one, so if you got kids around or something like that, just heads up on that one. But yeah, it just felt like I got my point across a little bit better. But yeah, the City Council was kind of receptive, and here you go. So last year, I informed this council about the pornographic books being purchased by our local school district for the school libraries. Now, that was generally confined to high schools and the occasional junior high. Since this was confined to age groups where information about sex is more socially acceptable, this council decided to stay in their lane and not comment on the controversy. I'm here to inform this council
and Elk Grove parents of some recent happenings at Elk Grove area elementary schools. Recently, a UBU or Rainbow Club was discovered to exist at Pleasant Grove Elementary School, where, to my understanding, a teacher went around asking kids as young as 8 years old if they'd like to join a club that is for boys who crush on boys and girls who crush on girls. When talking with parents from Pleasant Grove Elementary, I was told by parents that they were not notified, there were no permission slips required to attend, even though gardening club requires a permission slip, and some of these students were told not to tell their parents about this club. The school principal was confronted by more than 30 parents who were rightfully upset by this club being formed in secret. Parents found out that this wasn't an isolated incident and that secret clubs like this potentially exist at up to 10 Elk Grove elementary schools. One parent asked why a permission slip wasn't required for this club, and the response from a school official was, "We fear there will be parents who'll say no." Yeah, no shit. Not sure how it's such a shocker that parents might have an objection to strangers having secret conversations with their 8-year-old. Rather than addressing the concerns that parents have about this secret club, the district's youth development office put together a training for teachers and staff on how to respond to resistance against rainbow clubs and GSAs. So the creepy teacher asking third graders what their sexual preference is, that's not the problem, it's the parents. The Principal Skinner meme is just so apparent there. Since I don't expect this council to do or say anything, because several members of the school board are political allies of yours, I want to make an appeal to parents of elementary school kids in Elk Grove. Go to the EGUSD website, and if you don't already know, find out who your school principal is. Find out who the director of elementary education is. Find out who the superintendent is, and send them an email asking them about these clubs and why they're being done in secret. Because even if you approve of these clubs, there is absolutely zero reason why you shouldn't be able to know all of the information your child consumes at school. It would be nice if we had a school board and a city council who agreed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so there you go. That's basically been the last couple of weeks, been talking to a lot of parents in the that live in the Elk Grove Unified School District areas, and just trying to make sure they know, hey, this is an isolated incident. These are things that they're actively doing. All the stuff that you hear about on the news that you don't think is happening at your kid's school, unfortunately it is. So hopefully this is a wake-up call for a lot of parents. We are, we have some good candidates running against some of the school board people that are up for re-election this year, and hopefully we can get the old people out who are either bad or not great, and get new people in that are good. And hopefully that happens. And it's happened in California before, and it's happened recently in California. I think it's Chino Valley Unified. I think Chino Valley, maybe Chino Hills. I'm not sure, but it's Chino something. So it's I think they flipped like the entire school board. And as soon as they started saying, hey, we're not going to start do this sexualization of kids stuff, the state sued them. So it's but I think there's been some legal victories here in California that we can look at and go, okay, so we're winning small battles. We're winning some battles here. So we've got to keep winning, and part of that is going to be trying to flip the school board. The way my school board works, there's certain areas that you run in. So for anybody asking, a lot of people have reached out and said, hey, how come you're not running in 2024? Because I live in the area where the that seat's not up until 2026. So that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Part of the reason why it sucks, and just to give you some of the politics of it, is that based on the polls right now, it looks like it's going to be a Republican year. Now, granted, it looked like it was going to be a Republican year in 2022, and that didn't pan out. So, we'll see. But Trump is doing really well in the polls. Like, there's a lot of pollsters who are saying like he's probably going, like, all the states that he won in 2016, he's probably going to win those. There was a couple of pollsters who said he's going to win Maine outright, just going to win Maine. Now, he won I think it's the 2nd congressional district in Maine the last 2 elections, but they're saying like he's gonna win the state outright because he's gonna win that district by like 20 points, and then there might be like a lack of turnout for Biden in Maine, and it won't cost him that it won't cost Biden that congressional district, but it might cost him the whole state. So there's a lot of states that are all the polls are suggesting that it's going to be Trump, and I don't know if there's going to be a lot of appetite for voting across ballot. Just I'm going to vote for Democrat in Congress, and Democrat in the Senate, and stuff like that. So I don't think there's gonna be a lot of that going on this year. So yeah, not a lot of cross ballot voting. I don't think it's gonna happen in 2024. But bringing it back to the school board, is that if it holds true that it looks like there's gonna be not a lot of enthusiasm to vote for Biden, and kind of a higher enthusiasm to vote for Trump, and probably vote for Republicans in general, this would be the year to run a conservative campaign, and for any office. Now, the school board people are nonpartisan elections, but if there's gonna be less enthusiasm to vote at the top of the ticket or at the top of the ballot, that kind of trickles down. So this would be the year, but if Trump wins re-election, then 2026 will probably be a bad year to run a conservative campaign, because usually the party in power doesn't do too well in the midterms, and but we'll see. I mean, this is not something that's happened in our lifetime, if Trump did get reelected, where a president wins, then loses, and then wins a second term later. That hasn't happened. It's only happened one other time, and that was in the 1880s, I think. So yeah, it's obviously been a long time. So we'll see how it goes, but for now, if we can get the people that are running this time around, if we can get them in there, that kind of puts a halt on some of these things. I think we can. You're seeing more like split. It's like 4-3 votes on the school board, and yeah, if we can flip that the other way, then maybe we can get rid of some of this stuff and start just pushing it through. So that's what I'm hoping. But yes, if you haven't seen the video already, it's obviously in this video of my public comments, but I definitely recommend you go, and I'll put it in the description. I'll put a link in the description of the Elk Grove Unified School District, the actual board meeting, and I'll put some timestamps on when the public comments are, because that's when the parents do all their speaking. So I'll go and do that for you guys. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to y'all later.